my very first job at this company was in 1969, and I came in on a Saturday, and we spent 8 hours cleaning our mixer to make his product.
Really?
Because he expected perfection, and I mean it had to be perfect. You can't have a streak on a window.
No.
So any flaw in that molded product would result in a blade that wouldn't function. The way he tested it was very unscientific. He had these women with their fingernails cut just perfect.
Yeah.
And these cornstarch, and they would take their thumbnails and they would run it down the blade. And if they could feel whether there was any imperfections. If there were, we had to buy that blade back.
Wow.
And of course, we couldn't inspect it prior to shipment because he slit these.
Right.
After he slit it, then the girls would
test the edge.
Test it, yeah.
Yeah.
So there were basically 48-inch blades, and he obviously didn't make just, I say 48, I don't remember, they could have been 50, but it was about that.
Yeah. About 4 feet, right?
Yeah, but then it's been a long time.
Mm.
But they would make different sizes.
Yeah,
so,
he could probably cut them.
Yeah, so even if there was a flaw, you could cut it out and you could still make a blade.
Yeah.
But everything that was wasted because of flaws, we had to buy back.
Wow.
And the problem with the MT Black is that they're burned in these brick ovens.
MT Black is the carbon, right?
MT is the carbon. And it's a type of black made from burning natural gas. You want a very fine black. I mean, you blow it and it just disappears.
Wow.
And as you manufacture the black, it would build up on the walls of the oven.
Right.
And then they would periodically have to clean it.
Yeah.
So there's a certain step in the process of making the black where the black has got small particles, basically real hard.
Which are larger than the dust.
Yes, and aren't going to disperse in the mixing process.
Right.
And it took us a long time to figure that out. We knew we had a problem, but we didn't know why, because we knew we were mixing properly. We knew our equipment was clean.
Yeah.
But it turned out it was because of the carbon black manufacturer. So, which in most instances would make absolutely no difference whatsoever.
Yeah.
But in this application, it mattered.
And that's what caused the flaws. If there was going to be a flaw, it'll be a tiny little chunk of this crystallized MT Black.
Exactly.
Wow.
So we got with the manufacturer and we determined at what point in their process they produced the finest product, and then they would just set it aside for us.
Right.
And that eliminated the problem. So we ended up losing the contract anyway after 20 or 30 years.
Right. But, were you there that whole time?
Oh yeah. I ran the factory.
You ran the factory?
Yeah. I started off mixing.
So were you there when the first order came in from Ettore Stacconi?
Don't know. I don't know because I was a grunt in the factory.
Right.
And it could have been. It was at the beginning, but probably maybe not the first one.
Right. And then the formula was called 1095.
Mm-hmm.
The one stood for
natural rubber.
Natural rubber. The zero?
I don't know.
Okay. The rest.
I don't know. We started giving numbers after that. The only significance was that first number.
Right.
Like 1 is natural rubber, 3 was SBR, like for tire treads.
Yep.
5 was neoprene.
Okay. Wow.
Which stands up well with the elements. And I don't remember all the numbers now. I haven't been there for 20 years.
And then you'd make the mold would look like this, so there'd be 2 rounded ends and then a straight in the middle.
2 beads, the whole thing's maybe, I don't know, inch and a half wide.
Inch and a half wide, right?
And about 48 or 50 inches long.
And then what he would do, he would buy that off you, and then he would slit it, right?
Right.
Like down the middle, because I know you and I have talked about that, but we're not on the film, right?
Yeah.
So he would, but he never got you guys to do that.
Oh no. That slitter was never going to get out of his sight. That was the key to make
to the business. To getting that sharp edge.
Yeah. His manager was named Jerry Barnes. I believe he was his son-in-law.
Okay.
But I'm not certain. But I'm pretty sure.
But you met Jerry, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. They were in Oakland.
And where were you?
San Jose, which is just an hour away.
Okay.
So we had a reputation for being a high-quality rubber company. So 2 advantages: one, we were good, and second, we were close.
And what was the name of your company?
Burke.
Burke. That's your surname?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Well, when start a company, you have the privilege of.
That was your company?
My grandfather started it. Yeah.
Really? Wow. Yeah, you do have the privilege to put your name on it.
Just like Ettore Stacconi.
Yeah.
Now it's
so
Ettore
you're Robert
Stacconi.
Burke from the family of Burke Rubber.
That's right.
Wow.
We've subsequently sold the company, so really don't know how it's doing now.
And okay, and so Jerry Barnes, right? So he was the general manager kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think the interesting thing which people who are window cleaning guys will be interested in is one, that the rubber was, that there was somebody manufacturing the rubber, that it wasn't, Ettore. So there was another company who knew about rubber that made the product. So, for me, I'm a manufacturer, so I'm interested in that side. But from a user side, to realize that, how perfect this guy wanted everything, that Ettore Stacconi was an anal retentive perfectionist, in the sense that he'd
really
reject
was.
anything that was...
Well, you know what? But he was reasonable. Like the beads, it was really hard for us to mold these blades without having voids in the beads.
Right.
But the voids in the beads had no effect on the performance of the blade whatsoever.
True.
He didn't care.
Wow. Okay, so that's reasonable.
Yeah, he would look at that and go, I don't care, until he started selling to the Japanese. The Japanese cared.
Right, because of aesthetics.
Right, and he said, if you don't want my blades, you don't have to buy them. This is what you get. Now, I don't know. I didn't hear that from him. I heard that from Jerry Barnes.
Right.
But he was stressing to me, Jerry was, and he's stressing to me, you got to get rid of these particles in the rubber.
Right.
You don't care about the voids in the bead. It doesn't affect performance. But undispersed black does.
Right. Wow. Wow.
We tried to get him to sell us a slitter so that we could
test
our product.
Yeah.
To know when we're mixing this stuff, is this good or isn't it good?
Right.
Rather than mix 40 batches of 450 pounds a piece.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
find out none of it's any good.
Wow. But he never sold you one.
Oh no.
But I think that's what makes, obviously, Ettore is still a household name in our industry. It's one of the two big names. And but to think that he was that on it, from he came up with it, and then he's on it. Right from day one. He knew what made it work, and he was saying, he was just putting the rules down. That's the way it had to be. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was there, he had over $500,000 in brass.
Really?
Yeah, he had way more brass than he needed. And this was just one of those other things that he did, was the price of brass fluctuated greatly.
Right.
And so he had $500,000 of brass sitting there.
This is what year? Roundabout.
Well, I worked there from 1969 to 1989.
20 years.
Yeah, over 20.
Over 20, yeah. So that sort of time there, and he's holding brass for $500,000 worth of brass back then, which is over probably 1.5 million, 2 million now, isn't it? If you tried to say how much it was. Least. Yeah, at least. Maybe 5 million.
That put him in a position to where he could buy when the prices were down.
Wow.
And then just sit on it and use his inventory when prices were high.
Right.
And,
clever guy.
Yeah, he was. And people talk about the cost of carrying the inventory. Well, the cost of carrying the inventory was nothing compared to how much he saved because of the fluctuations in the price of brass.
Yeah.
And I believe he stamped his own stuff.
Yeah. All Ettore stuff has the brass has a stamp on it.
Yeah, well, his
and was he
blade has
manufacturing that? Oh, by the way, was your rubber extruded or molded?
Molded.
Okay.
Compression molded. There's no way you can extrude a quality product.
Right, and get it right.
People say you can't. No, you can't.
Right.
An extruded product is inferior to a molded product.
Right.
Depending on its application, of course. But if you want precision dimensions, you're not going to get it by extruding.
Right.
It was extruded. Freeform was extruded. The process was to mix the compound.
Yep.
And then to put it in storage, and then break it down. We would mix once a week, so we basically mix enough to last 1 week. And then we would pull from that inventory on a daily basis and go to our extruders, and we extrude the preforms.
Right.
Then it would go to the pressing operation, and we had these trays. I believe it was a triple-decker press. I believe that there were, I'm going to say we were making at least 30 at a time. And when I was doing the job, I could do, my best day was 59 turns in one day.
Right.
But that was a record. I was going for 60, but I couldn't do it.
So you got 3 decks of 30, times 59.
Well, no, I was the only one that ever did 59.
Right.
The standard was 48. Most
Right,
people were
right,
doing
right.
high 40s. You weren't mid 40s to 50 is what
Okay.
a good work.
And that's what you could pump out per day.
Yeah, well, but we're doing it 3 shifts. We're doing it 24 hours a day.
Right.
So
Wow.
And we never stopped.
That's crazy. And so it would go into the mold, and then the mold would what? Just put pressure on it, or
Yeah, just like the hydraulic rams in a tire shop.
Yep.
Same exact thing. So close the press up, 3,500 pounds per square inch, and I believe it was at 120 pounds of steam, which would be about 350 degrees, if I recall. It's a thin part, so you could mold it at high temperatures. Bigger parts, you get greater cross sections, you have to mold at lower temperatures.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't remember too much about it. It's been
It's a long time.
It's been over 40 years since I ran the press.
No, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like whatever you remember is history, right? And it's fascinating to think that somebody made these and that the people are making them now, of course, probably in a similar way, but nobody's going to tell the story, yeah?
Right. We made a few more parts that are a little bit more interesting than his squeegee blade.
Uh-huh.
When the space shuttle blew up, NASA was in our office the next day wanting us to put together a program to mold the rings for the space shuttle.
Uh-huh. Wow.
They gave us $1 million to tell them how to do it. They never did it because they didn't want to admit the reason the shuttle blew up was over a $10 price difference between a molded ring in one piece versus a ring that was molded in sections and then spliced.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So it'd be like driving down the road in a car with the tires that were glued together. Molded in pieces and then glued together. It was crazy. So they redesigned the joint so they didn't even need a ring.
Right. Oh yeah, then they didn't have to face it, right?
They still used them, but
Right.
We had made the rings for the Titan, and we had never had a failure. So once the space shuttle started flying, they told us to destroy the molds for the Titan, which we didn't do. We just hung them on a wall.
Right.
And then it was how fast can you get the Titan program back up?
Real fast.
No, we never.
Oh,
we
no,
never.
with money.
How much money you have?
Right.
That's where the $1 million came from. Okay, we go expedite everything.
And make these molds.
Yeah, we never lied to them.
No.
We never even
that's
said we
great.
had to make any molds. We just said we can get it up
Right.
and running in 2 months.
Right.
Or whatever the time was.
Yeah.
It was a lot faster than they needed to get them.
Classic.
They needed to start putting satellites back up.
Oh, that's classic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That's good. That's 13 minutes of talking, you know?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir.
I'll have to start taping my lessons and my math classes and then just sit in the back, grade papers, and have
Yeah.
them watch.
That's right. All right, buddy. Say hi to everyone.
Hello. Ni
It's
hao.
Robert Burke. No, this is going to America.
Ni hao.
We're in Ningbo, by the way. We're in Ningbo, China.
Ningbo, China.
And fancy. We met just quickly, like we met last night, right?
Yeah.
And we were talking about education over a beer. And how did it come up that you do rubber? Because I didn't tell you I was in window cleaning until way after, right?
I think I said it was previous career. I think you'd asked me how long I'd been
Right.
teaching, and I said it's a new career.
Yeah, I know
for me.
rubber. Yeah,
I
that's
know
something
rubber.
like that. And then somehow Ettore Staccone came up, right? Staccone.
I think you may have indicated that you were in the window cleaning business,
Right.
and I said I
And
molded.
yeah. You molded the rubber. That's
Yeah.
how it came up. So that was last night, and today you're heading off where?
Xiamen,
Xiamen, and then
Philippines,
right,
and then I don't really know.
holiday time.
Yeah.
Good times.
We also molded the first shoe soles for Nike.
Really?
Yeah. And we lost that contract because they didn't think we were big enough to keep them supplied.
Wow.
We were
Wow.
very capable of doing that. Man, that cost me tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, huh?
Yeah, if we could have been the sole supplier for them for shoe soles, because that was exactly what we did.
Right.
Like Staccone, that's what we did.
Right.
I mean, we were very capable of doing that kind of a job.
Yep.
Shoe soles, that's what we did.
Right.
So,
Oh, yeah. That's history, man.
yeah,
That's the way it rolls.
yeah. So where in America is this going?
Huh?
Where in America?
This will go all over because we basically have a Facebook group and we belong to a couple of my mates' Facebook groups and maybe the UK, the Window Cleaning Magazine, they love it. Like they're all using Ettore, so we'll put it on Facebook
Are they
and on
using
YouTube.
Ettore or are they using Stacconi? I understand
No,
the
Ettore.
company split.
Ettore. Right. I don't know about the split. Yeah.
My understanding was that when Ettore Stacconi died, there was a fuss within the family,
Right.
and it ended up breaking off. Two
Okay.
companies were formed: Ettore
Yep.
and Stacconi.
Right. Well, Ettore.
Okay.
Ettore is the one that's winning. I mean, Stacconi may still be there, but with a different market. But I don't hear about it. I only hear about Ettore.
Well, I've been out of that for 20 years, so I don't know what has transpired.
Yeah.
But my brother-in-law was a salesman for the Stacconi.
Really?
Yeah, he was the guy that dealt with Jerry Barnes. And when he died, Danny told me that the company split,
Right.
and that there were two different companies now competing with each other, making essentially the same product.
Wow. Great. Well, that's history. Good man. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Robert. Robert
problem.
Burke. Where are you from? In the States?
San Jose, California.
There you are. San Jose, California.
I lived in Los Gatos. Our company was in San Jose.
Sweet. All right. History. Thanks. This is an aftermath. We've talked for the last hour since we filmed that last one, right? And this guy's fascinating and amazing. But what amazes me about him is that he has really lived life. An amazing, what I think is quality of life, isn't it?
I think so.
You've really lived. You've lived a life.
I've lived a lot.
Yeah. And it's not like staying home and being this and being that and running in a rut or anything like that. You've really lived a life, like globally, isn't it?
I've done a few things, yeah.
I've talked for an hour about all of them.
Yeah.
And about parenting, about education. So Robert went off and did a maths degree, yeah?
Yes.
To become a maths teacher so that he could, like how old were you then?
I don't remember.
No, but it was 1989 when the company sold.
Well, I didn't go
Then
straight.
you took a break.
Yeah, I took a break. I did some traveling and a few things.
And then you made the decision you're going to go and re-educate yourself or educate yourself in order to be a maths teacher,
Right.
knowing that it was a transportable career.
Exactly.
And as I'm paraphrasing you, right?
And here I'm in China. Yeah, exactly.
Where we are in Ningbo.
Yeah.
So the one thing when I meet somebody really impressive, I always say, like, what's the one sentence or two sentences that summarize how to have a quality of life, not how to make money or how to get rich, but just how to really enjoy the human experience, yeah? And so, Robert, what's your line?
To me, life is about learning and having fun.
And of those two?
Learning and having fun. But having fun is a biggie because it entails a lot. What makes things fun? We are pre-programmed to do the things that we need to do, and what motivates us to do those things is it being fun.
Yeah.
For example, we're watching a rugby game right now. What motivates those guys to play a game where you smash heads and break bodies, sweat, you're totally exhausted? What would motivate somebody to do that? It's fun for them to do that.
Yeah.
But why is it fun?
Yeah.
It's fun because they're practicing a skill that helps perpetuate humanity. This is war.
Yeah, this is war. This is modern
war. They turned it into a game.
managed war, yeah.
They've turned it into a game.
Yeah.
But I think that if you do what's fun and learn, you'll be living a good life.
So of the two, fun is the premise.
Well, fun because
Not frivolous fun. We're not talking frivolous fun.
No, I'm not talking waste your life.
No.
I'm not talking go into the brothel.
No.
For example, I could have left out learning. That's redundant because learning is fun.
Yeah.
So I could have left that out.
Yeah. But then fun would have been interpreted with the natural meaning of fun, which is like blow up balloons and
Right.
you know,
Right.
it's like do small shit.
Yeah.
But you're talking about like what makes you. I have a sort of a metaphor, like say, you know, the gas water heater, right? It's got a pilot light, and then when you run the water through it, all the burners turn on. You know that,
Right.
but the little pilot light is always running. And I think that when you find the thing that has flow, all of a sudden all of your burners turn on and you're alive and you're hot, you know, isn't it? Does that make sense? Don't say no.
No, I have to think about it for a while.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's kind of like everybody's got a little flame, but the question is who's got a big flame, right? Who's doing what they want to do?
I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you're not having fun, you're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that's, you know, I think if you're not having fun, you're doing the wrong thing. I love teaching. That's fun.
Yeah.
So when I say having fun, I'm not saying, you know, screw responsibility. I'm saying that what you're doing, it should be fun.
Yeah. To you.
Yeah, and it's a big turn on for me to be in front of a group of kids and have them teach them mathematics and have them go, oh, I get it. You know, that's fun.
Yeah.
So it may be a little hard for a lot of people to understand exactly what I'm saying.
No, I get it. It's a distinction. It's a mature, global, macro meaning of the word fun.
Yes.
Not a frivolous,
not a narrow,
sort of childish, you know, meaning, right?
Not a childish like what we're doing here.
No. Yeah, we're having fun, but this is not the fun we're talking about. That always helps. Should we drink beer?
What's that?
Hell yeah.
Do I drink beer?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's the other fun. All right. That's Robert Burke.